Being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist is like the best of both worlds. It's kind of in a sense like the doctor and nurse relationship. You have the nurse at the bedside getting a first-hand report on what's going on with that patient. As a hairstylist standing behind the chair, I get a first-hand report on what's going on with the hair and scalp. With trichology, it's like the doctor in a sense. We have to assess what the root cause of that issue may be and come up with a treatment plan to help you manage and treat that issue. So for me, being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist, it's the best of both worlds. Next question. Why are my edges thinning when I don't put tension on them? Good question. Good question. Good question. So, my first bullet point on my card is nutritional deficiencies. We talked about this already a few times. 9 times out of 10, there's probably going to be some nutritional deficiency. In blood work, you should test that to really see what's going on. If it's not nutritional, could there be some abnormalities going on in your body chemistry? That you may also need blood work to test. So if you're noticing hair loss and it's like, it's very alarming and it's like sudden, that's one thing. Nutritional deficiency isn't sudden, it's gradual. So sudden is different. It's like an emergency, red flag, 911, go to the hospital. Nutritional deficiency is like something that you're going to see over time, and you'll be able to like pinpoint things in that nature, because there's other symptoms to that as well. My next bullet point is, what is your definition of tension? Because you may think you're not putting tension on your edges, but you are. And can your edges withstand the tension that you are putting on, or what you think you're not doing? So your edges may need some real TLC, and you can, like, you look at your edges wrong, they falling out. So you have to be very mindful and very careful. So things like hats, scarves, and headbands can be tension without you realizing it. So these are things that's like, I really think you need to really address and pay attention. Do your self inventory and really take inventory on, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What is normal? What is not normal? What is consistent and persistent versus what I do seldomly? So things like that's like what I really think you should, look at. But I did write down some notes for certain things, like when it comes to nutritional deficiencies, such as like iron, D3, zinc, B12. These are like some of the main culprits of like thinning or global thinning of hair. Edges being like a weaker area, kind of maybe the ones that get picked on first or the most, right? But when you see the eyebrows, you see the hairline and things like that, maybe energy levels aren't the same. Maybe body temperature is different. Look at nutritional first before you say like, I don't know, something's wrong.
Right.
Hats, scarves, and headbands can also be stressors on the headline, more than what you realize, because it's like it's often forgotten about in terms of a factor. I feel like because I have so many conversations with my clients, they know these things now. Even like in the winter months, it's like I always let them know, wear a satin or silk scarf around your collar or your scarves, because if your hair is down, it's rubbing on it. If your neck is up and you're pushing up, you're pulling them up higher, it's rubbing on your hairline. So usually every season you're getting some traction alopecia. But it's just like, well, if we do these things, these can help alleviate, some of those hair loss issues. And this just comes from experience.
Yeah.
That's all, to tell them these things.
Absolutely.
And I did write also, what is your definition of tension? Just as I mentioned, hats, scarves, and headbands, most people don't associate them with hairline thinning. So just repeating and going over what I've already said, but yes, it's like, those are my takeaways from this question.
Hit it on the nose.
Head on the nose.
Yeah,
Head on the
there you
nose. Been doing that, boy.
go. Bullseye.